Trojan Felly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, we got to address a couple of things and talk about a couple of things. Is the USC football defense, is it good enough right now to compete in the Big Ten as it stands right now? We want to talk about that. We want to address that. And listen, all of us have talked about how much of an improvement the USC defensive staff, the crazy amount of talent, not only from the defensive side of the ball, but from the defensive coaching staff, the actual staff itself. It's straight up go time with them. I think USC is absolutely going to be better than what they were last year from a defensive perspective. I think they could possibly make a top 30. Look, you guys know, and I want to compare and contrast. Is this USC football defense better than UCLA's defense? And the reason I'm asking that question is this. This is because you guys know that Deanton Lynn was a defensive coordinator for UCLA. Arguably, his top player was Latu, who was a baller, absolute baller. You guys know we had a Latu last year, and Thule balled out. And, of course, Solomon Byrd, he even stepped up. He didn't have the 12 sacks that a guy like Thule had, but I think he was a great piece. But, listen, the personnel that USC has right now, how will we compete? Is it better than UCLA? I want to address that real quick. Before we address that, let's talk about this real quick, because you guys know I was very high on this 2024 class, and you guys know that I said that they were very underrated. Well, lo and behold, 24 on 3, rather, they put up their top prospects in the 2024, their final rankings, and USC absolutely has some guys on there. We'll talk about these guys real quick. Elijah Newby, you guys know I did a big time video about him. It's straight up go time with him. I think he is a absolute baller, a phenomenal player, but he came in at the number 66 ranked overall player in the country, number 5 linebacker in the country. We don't know what position he's going to play because he's an absolute stud. Runs a 10-9 in the 100 meters, play safety, play linebacker, play edge. He could do it all. Next one is Cameron Fountain, big time 6'6" edge. He's coming in at number 72 player overall, and then number 10 player, edge rusher. The next one is going to be defensive lineman Jai Albasari. He's coming in as the number 119 player overall, number 11 defensive lineman overall, and I can't wait to see what Coach Eric Henderson is going to do with him. He's a 6'6" body. It's straight up go time with him as well. Next one is going to be Xavier Worthy. He's a top 200 player, coming in at the number 135 player overall, number 22 receiver in the country. Tight end Walter Matthews, 6'6", 6'7" rather. USC has some size, man. He's coming in at the number 203 player overall, number 14 tight end in the country. Jason Zandamila, big time offensive lineman. He's coming in as the number 211 player overall. I'm not sure if that's right. I think 24/7 may have him rated a little higher. And he's coming in at the number 12 offensive lineman in the country. Cornerback Marcellus Williams, he's coming in at number 218 overall as a player, number 28 cornerback overall. Then you got big defensive lineman. He was just on my show, Carlell Jones. It's straight up go time. Shout out to Carlell. He's coming in as a 4-star prospect as well, number 228 overall. And then number 19 defensive lineman in the country. And then tight end Joey Olsen out of the state of Oregon, 264 player overall, number 18 tight end in the country. Then linebacker Desmond Stevens, number 300 player overall. He made the top 300. You remember a lot of people were talking about 4-star, the 5 stars. Why USC? USC has 10 players. This is 10 players in the top 100. In the top 300. Are you kidding me? Man, listen, recognize talent when you got it. But he's coming in as the number 24 linebacker in the country, but he's actually labeled as an athlete. So that's US. So also shout out to a guy like Braylon Conley. He's very underrated. You got several guys, Marquise Gallegos. You got several guys that are underrated within this class, and I think it's going to be straight up go time. USC absolutely got a heck of a class. I think they're just like the 2023 class. Guys like Braylon Shelby, Elijah Hughes, Sam Green. You got multiple guys, Christian Pierce, that I think is going to be straight up go time. But I want to take a look at USC's personnel right now. How does it compare and contrast with the personnel from last year, and how will D'Anton Lynn utilize that? And I think the biggest thing we got to do first before we really address that overall is the overall pieces from a culture perspective the best the best thing for this USC football program? Will this coaching staff put them in a better position? That's the very best. That's the very first question that you have to ask yourself. And you got to understand, they got pieces right now that are in play from a defensive perspective. That you look at a guy like Matt Inch, who was a defensive coordinator for a long time. Of course, you guys know he was a head coach of North Dakota State, took them to championships. He's going to be coaching the linebackers. And so you're talking about having the best of the best at one position group. Come on, man. You already know it's going to be go time. Then you got a guy like D'Anton Lynn who's going to oversee the whole thing. But then you got a guy like Eric Henderson. He's going to be coaching the D-line, run game coordinator. It's going to be straight up go time with him as well. So I think when you look at that aspect of it, when you look at guys like Jahid Abashiri, big-time freshman, you look at some of these other guys like Isaiah Rakes, big-time defensive tackle from Texas A&M. I think it's going to be go time with him. He's going to sharpen his tools up a little bit under Eric Henderson. Of course, Bear Alexander as well. And then I'm very high on, and I want to see how Dejan Lafitte, how he develops under a guy like Eric Henderson. So you look at some of these pieces we got. Are they better than some of the UCLA guys? I will say, listen, if not equal, maybe better. So, that's the aspect I'm coming from. That's the perspective I'm coming from. And I think it's going to be straight up go time. And then you got the edge rushers now that you're going to have guys like Sean Nua coach the defensive end, I guess, / edge rushers. I'm not sure. The edge rushers may fall in the linebacker position. So Matt Inch may get those guys. But you got guys like Braylon Shelby. You got guys like Sam Green, multiple guys. Of course, the guys that are coming in as well. So it's going to be straight up go time with them. So you got the best of the best going to be coaching these guys individually. So I think it's going to be straight up go time. And then you look at the defensive ends. I'm sure Eric Henderson is probably going to get those guys like Anthony Lucas. You got guys like Solo coming back. You got Elijah Hughes, who I told you I'm very, very high on. So look, I think it's a lot of pieces in play. And if we don't have any more movement on this defensive line or in the defense, how will USC fare? How will they come out? And I think we will be okay if we had to. And given the fact that, look, man, I re-looked at that schedule and I'm gonna go over that again. Of course, you guys know Michigan essentially lost in the sauce right now, losing their coach. But I'm gonna talk about that in a second here because I think there may be an opportunity on the table. But I think USC can really, really move and groove. And when you just look at it from this perspective, let's take a look at these guys that we got coming in, man. From a cornerback position, our cornerback position may be one of the strong cornerback safety position, may be the best and toughest and most competitive position group on there right now. You look at it right here. So you look at a guy like DeCarlos Nicholson. He came in big time cornerback, 6'3", out of Mississippi State. Then you got, of course, Arnold brothers, safety, and then of course you got Kamari Ramsey. We got some of the UCLA players. Of course, we got Humphreys here. You got Easton brother, the other Easton brother. He's going to be playing linebacker. You got Nate Clifton coming from Vanderbilt. Of course, you got John Humphreys as well coming from UCLA, the other cornerback. So, man, listen, USC has some things moving and grooving, and I think we really got to open our eyes up. Listen, I know we all kind of lost in the sauce with just having an anxiety attack because of what took place last year, because there was a lot of talent. But regardless of what everybody says, and even guys like Mason Cobb, when he was at Oklahoma State, listen, man, Mason Cobb was lights out. I think Mason Cobb is going to even benefit from this staff as well. Mason Cobb is a good player. And so we got to see how this thing is going to play out. And of course, you got guys like Eric Gentry. We can't forget about him. Eric Gentry is going to be, listen, man, I saw a picture of Eric Gentry the other day. He really looks thick, man. He's looking like he's getting thicker, and it's going to be straight up go time with him. How's this defense going to shape out? Is it going to be a Mike, a Will, and is it going to be a Sam? Don't forget about Rajon Davis. You got a Mike, Will, Sam. I don't know who it's going to be. Is it going to be one of the Arnold brothers? Is it going to be Eric Gentry? Is it going to be? I'm not even ready to. I've tried that before, but I feel like it's not giving guys a fair opportunity when I put them at position and when I say what position they go, who's going to be the starter. I'm not even going to project the starters at this point because right now it's an open competition. So guess what? USCJ about to have an open mind, and I think it's going to be a battle. So I think you can see Eric Gentry. I think you can see an Arnold brother. I think you can see Mason Cobb. I think you can see Rajon Davis. I think everybody's going to be, and I'm holding to that. I'm standing on that. I think it's going to be a fair opportunity for everybody, and I think USC is going to have a, don't forget about his name just slipped my mind, Garrison Madden. We got other guys as well. I'm not throwing anybody away. We got Desmond Stevens coming in. We got Elijah Newby coming in. I am not locking anybody in there. I just think it's going to be a competitive spring. I probably would be better off making a projection after the spring. That way we kind of see who's doing what, who's learning the defense, because it's all about learning and then executing. And I think after that happens, we can have a better projection. So that's going to be my projection after the spring. That way I have a better idea who's coming on, who's catching on, and who's moving and grooving. You guys hit me in the comment section, man. You guys tell me what you think. And I got one more thing, and we got to get out of here. Let's take a look at this. You guys know I talked about Mason Graham out of the state of California, Surratt High School. And listen, I'm just saying keep an eye on this. I told you guys about, of course, you guys know Jim Harbaugh left. We talked about the defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter. And now Mason Graham put this message up just the other day, yesterday. This is off his Instagram. And he says, look, this one cuts deep. Apparently, he just was close to the strength and conditioning coach. The strength coach, Coach Herbert, is leaving, going to the Chargers. And so, listen, I think we can keep an eye on this. We're not sure how this is going to play out. We're not sure what exactly is going to happen. But listen, there is an opportunity. And whether we seize the moment on that, and if we're able to seize the moment on that, that's a whole nother story, man. So look, you guys give me the comments. You guys can tell me what you think. I'm out of here. Drop those comments. With the personnel that we have right now, I'm not ready to make a projection, as I stated. Do you think USC football will have a better defense, if not better than UCLA's next year? Do we have the personnel to match them? I think we do. If you just go man for man, that's all we got to do. Don't overthink it. Don't think about the games. Just think about it man for man, player for player. You start, I guess, with Latu. That's their best player. But we just go player for player and match it up. See who we have there. And I want you guys to really think about, from a roster standpoint, is this use? We're not even talking about the offense. We know what we did, and I feel comfortable with that. I feel comfortable where we left off at in the Louisville game. I'm not even concerned about that. Will the defensive product be better on the field than last year? That's the $1 million question. I think so. Man for man, if we just go down the line, and I think USC has an opportunity. You guys can hit, you couple that with the coaching, I think it's going to be go time. I'm out of here, man. Until later on, listen, everybody stay blessed. Don't forget, make sure you get up, get out, and make some things happen. Until later on, fight on, fight on, fight on.